What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Dance Dojo, where we help you develop into an awesome social dancer. My name's Robin. Today we're talking about the fact most people want more moves, but that doesn't really make you a better dancer. It's a small piece. You can become a more developed and more mature dancer at any level, no matter what moves you know. It's about taking those moves you know, diving deep into exploring them, and then also taking that next step that most people don't take. So these 5 concepts that I'm going to talk about today are going to help you make your dancing and shines more playful, more unique, and really bring them to life. Plus, I've got a fun challenge for you. The 5 concepts that are going to help you enhance your dancing and specifically help you enhance your shines. Now, as I go through and demonstrate some of these ideas, I'm going to do it mostly with the basic step and the Suzy Q. So start with those 2 steps. You can go through some of the examples with me and then explore on your own after. And then I'm going to challenge you to take 2 other steps that you already know and apply these 5 concepts to them and go deep and explore and see where it takes you. So the first concept I want to share with you is intention. It's all about the energy that you're bringing or giving to a step. So let's think about that. So let's take a Suzy Q for an example. You could do the classic Suzy Q, which is much more of a hip-centric twisting motion. But then if you felt like just doing something more casual, you could just kind of stay square, stay forward, and just do this step like this. Or more traditional with the hip twist. Or again, if you want to add a bit of a different feel to it, it could be more of an up and down. Dun, 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 dun. Bum, 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 bum. Dum, bum, bum. So it's really up to you to bring the flavor that you want into whatever step you're doing. And you can take that from 2 places. You could take it inside. If you're feeling, how are you feeling that day? What's your mood? What's your energy like? Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you aggressive? Are you timid? Are you feeling really energetic or calm or confident or maybe really sharp or maybe really smooth? What is your mood? Alternatively, how is the music? What sort of energy does the music bring? Is it sharp? Is it smooth? Is it, energetic or calm? And so that's the first concept, is intention, the flavor, the energy you're bringing to the step. And so that can really significantly change the feeling that it has. Second concept is levels. Very simple idea. You can be low, you can be somewhere neutral, you can be high. If you're doing performances, you could even go into the air, you could even be on the floor. If you're social dancing, it's probably going to be somewhere in the middle. So a simple example is if you're just doing your basic step, you can do a drop and drop. If you're doing a Suzy Q, you could do your Suzy and drop on the last step to add a little bit of an emphasis. Alternatively, instead of dropping, you can also rise. So you could do that Suzy, rise, Suzy, rise, Suzy, rise. Okay? So there's a bunch of different ways you can add either dropping or rising or changing levels. Another example of a shine that we just did in our class the other day here in Medellin was something like this. We'd had a left turn, we had a hop, a turn, and then we came low, and then we came high. So just by adding those different levels, it really adds a new dimension and makes whatever you're doing much more dynamic, as opposed to just doing a left turn, stepping forward, doing a turn like this, and not going lower, higher, changing my levels. Okay, so that's levels. Next is angles and direction changes, rotations, so changing your orientation. So a really simple example, in your basic, most people are just doing their basic really square, facing the front. You can just add a little pivot at the end. It's really simple, but it just kind of adds a nice little stylistic touch to your basic. Boom, just like that. So you can change the angle where you are, and your shoulders, your shoulder line makes that angle. Okay? So you could do your basic straight. You could also change your direction. Go this way. Or like I said before, just change the angle in a very certain moment of a step. So if we do the Suzy Q, for example, I could do the Suzy Q directly forward. I could angle my body 45 degrees. Or I could even do a sharper direction change, 180 degrees, and make it a bit more dynamic. Really depends what I want to achieve. Along with that, you could also do something like a rotation. So if I'm doing a Susie Q, bum, 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 Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, Susie Q, or Susie, Susie, Susie plus, Susie, Susie, Susie plus. So there you go. It's the same step, but you're giving it a new dynamic, a new dimension. Next up is traveling. So no matter what step you do, you can travel in a specific direction. So I'm gonna go this way. In your basic, you can progress and go further in one direction than another. I could go backwards or forwards. Same thing if I'm doing a side basic, I could cross, try and go in one direction. Same thing with a back basic. You can progress, go forward, or you could try and take smaller steps and work your way backwards. You know, so when you're in a class and you're doing shines, are you the one that's always moving to the front and getting stuck up here? Or are you able to control where you are and not just, you know, move forward without having the intention of moving forward? So it's really important. Can you control what you're doing? If you want to move forward, are you moving forward? And if you want to move back, are you moving back? And if you want to stay in the same spot, can you stay in the same spot? Same thing with something like a Susie Q. Susie Q, if you want to move forward, you find that step that allows you to propel yourself forward. Likewise, you can find that opportunity to step back and allow you to travel. Or if you want to go in one direction, you can take small steps in one direction and bigger steps in the other. Okay, so that's the concept of traveling. And lastly, the last concept is your focus. Where is your attention? Where is your gaze? And typically, it's going to be straightforward. Oh, I guess I'll demonstrate this towards you. Typically, it's going to be straightforward at your partner or at the audience, for example. If you're doing a basic or the Susie Q. But you can also change your focus, and that gives it a new energy. So for example, maybe I want to look in the direction I'm going when I'm doing the Susie Q. Maybe I want to look in the opposite direction that I'm going. And when I do that, maybe I want to change my focus all of a sudden to my foot to emphasize something that my body's doing. Likewise, if I do, let's say I do a left turn. I'm looking away, then all of a sudden I look at you, and then I do some walks or some shimmies. That has a very different feel than if I just did a left turn and I looked at you right away. You know? Delay the look, and then add the shimmies. That just kind of adds a bit more playfulness to whatever you're doing. Obviously, when you're learning steps, you don't need to think about these concepts right away. These 5 concepts are things that you want to add on once you're very comfortable with doing something to, like I said, add a new dimension, add a new element to what you're doing to really bring it to life. So those are the 5 concepts. They are intention, the energy you bring to the step, levels, low, medium, high. You can even jump in the air, be on the ground. And then we had direction changes, angles, turning, rotation. And then we had traveling. And then we had your gaze or your attention, where you're looking. And so play with those 5 concepts. Do it first with just your basic step and a Susie Q, really simple steps, great place to start. And then I challenge you to do it with 2 steps that you already know, that you're comfortable with. Apply those 5 concepts, go deep, explore. This is how you mature and develop as a dancer. If you just go to class and copy a teacher, you're just gonna start looking like the teacher. You're not gonna learn about your own preferences, your own tastes, your own style, the way that you like to move. So make sure that you explore. It's the best way to improve. Hope you guys enjoyed this. So there you have it. I really encourage you to go inward on your dance journey and see what comes out of you. If you want to go deeper with us, check out the links in the video description. You can try some really cool stuff from our online salsa program at thedancedojo.com. We also have bachata. and subscribe and hit that bell for updates, because next week I'm going to talk about how to handle timing switches when the musicians switch the timing on you. Thanks so much, guys, for hanging out. I'll catch you in the next video.